I love copywriting, photography, and creative directing. I'm an aspiring creative director myself. So just like you, I'm really excited to be here. Now, I just want to start off with a little icebreaker, so I don't want to just jump right into it. And since this is, a creative seminar, Click Creatives, Lights, Camera, Action, what better way to start off than by doing a little storytelling thing? So we're gonna do some improv storytelling, right? So even if you don't know, you've never written a story or told a story or anything like that, that's fine. So the instructions go like this. So I'm gonna start with a statement, and everyone is gonna finish it to make a story. So the first thing that I'm gonna say is this. So Jason, the Jamaican creative, that's the name of the story that we're going to tell. Jason had a passion for reimagining possibilities by bringing stories to life through photography, videography, and creative directing. So one day so that's the first part of the story. So now you guys are going to continue the story. So I'm going to repeat. Jason, the Jamaican creative. Jason had a passion for reimagining possibilities by bringing stories to life through photography, videography, and creative directing. So one day all right, so I'm gonna check the participants list. Danny McDonough, would you like to continue the story? So one day you can unmute your mic.
Hello, so one day Jason put together a team, the best creative new in the fields of photography, videography. Can you remind me the third?
I'm not sure if it's a
Hello,
connection issue on my side, but I don't know. I can barely hear you. Is it just me?
Hello, am I being heard?
No, you're breaking up. Somebody else says you're breaking up for them as well. Can you go again? And let's see. If not, you might just have to type it.
So one day he put together a team of the best creatives that he knew.
Okay,
in the
nice.
field,
In
the three fields that you mentioned: photography, videography, and
creative directing.
what was the third field?
Creative directing.
And creative writing.
Directing.
Creative directing. However, okay, so he put together a team of the best creatives that he knew in the fields of creative directing, photography, and videography. However, they were having challenges.
I see. All right, thank you, Danny. That's it for your part of the story, right?
Yes.
All right, thank you, Danny. So they were having challenges. All right, so the next person here on my list that I see is Gianna Williams. So continuing the story, Gianna. Gianna, are you there? All right, I guess not. So,
hi. Sorry.
Hello.
I was watching the feed on YouTube. Sorry about that. I didn't technically hear what Danny said.
So, well, did you get the activity at all, like from the beginning?
No, I didn't. I was in YouTube. Sorry.
Okay, so we're basically doing storytelling. So I started saying something, then Danny, and then you're gonna continue. So I said Jason had a passion for reimagining possibilities by bringing stories to life through photography, videography, and creative directing. So one day and essentially Danny said he brought a team together, to work on different areas in photography, videography, and creative directing. However, they were having challenges. That's not what he said, you know, verbatim, but basically. So now you're gonna continue the story.
Okay. They tried to sort the issue out amongst themselves, but they couldn't
Yeah.
come to a consensus decisions, so they had to call in backup.
All
Yeah.
right, nice. All right, thank you, Gianna. All right, next person on my list here that I see is Jalen Foster.
They had to call in backup. So each one of these,
Yeah.
so each one of these individuals with their different skill sets and mindsets started to, as they started to create their own little photography teams and creative directing teams, they started to notice that they were growing distant. They were branching off and doing their own thing. So one day, as they finally met up together, they talked about.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, that's what
Thank you,
that's what I
Jalen.
thought.
Okay, so they talked about that was good. Thank you. Next person that I see on my list here is Liv Wallace. Liv Wallace, are you there? In the meantime, I see one of our speakers, Nickii Kane, here. Just to fill you in, we're just doing an icebreaker, which is an impromptu storytelling. So persons are just continuing the story. Hello.
Hi. I was just waiting until you guys are finished. Hello, greetings everybody. I'll chip in when you want me to chip
Guys, say
in.
hi to the speaker. Yes, we're almost done.
Okay, no
I'm
problem.
not sure if Liv Wallace is here. Phaedra, do you want to continue the story?
I'm sorry. What was the last part? What happened in the end?
Phaedra, can you speak up a bit? And Jalen, please repeat the last part of your story.
Oh, so they started to create their own little creative directing teams, their photography teams, and they started to branch away from that large idea that they all had. So when they finally met up, they talked about.
Okay.
Okay, so
They decided that that was, even though the group was working well, they needed a mentor to guide them to really get their feet wet in the whole creative and organize their ideas. So they went in search for a mentor.
ooh, I like that. All right, so I feel like that's a perfect transition to maybe Mr. Fearon. I want to involve as well in the story, and then we can see if we can end it with Jodian.
All right, so they thought of everyone they could think of, and they decided that they're going to go down to the creative up downtown, to the right, and they met with the team from Kingston Creative that put them on to a professor that he knew from university days that they call the Gator. Now, when they call the Gator, he's a Scottish man. Way in the UK, they call him at the middle of the night in the UK because, you know, it's in the evening in Jamaica.
Yes.
The Gator picked up the phone, listened to them, and he heard that, oh, you calling, you were introduced by a former student, Mr. Fearon. And he got up out of his bed and listened to everyone's point, and he came up with a great solution. And
Oh. that's fine. it's storytelling anyway. So Jodian, you can just end it here, and then we'll get into the meat of the matter, because I don't want to keep you guys waiting too long.
Okay, so the pressure is on me to end the story. Wow. Okay, so after listening to all of their concerns, he came up with a solution, and he came up with a plan for all of them to work together, starting their own companies. So he basically gave them the creative handbook. And within this handbook was all the protocols as it relates to learning teamwork, learning together, but also how to own their own abilities. And with them, they learned that each of their abilities is important, and then together, that they're better than if they were alone. So they created a great team in the end.
All right, thank you so much, guys. All right, that was really great. That was really good. Could I start a local book based on creative directing, photography, and so on and so forth. All right, so I'm not gonna keep you waiting any longer. I would like to welcome Miss Nickii Kane. She is a creative director. She's somebody that I personally look up to. Her work is amazing. I want you to help me to make her feel welcomed. She'll be talking to us about the process of creative directing. Welcome, Nickii Kane.
Greetings, one and all. I'm not hear nobody. Oh, people are type, hi. Hello. So, firstly, I looked at the time and I realized that I have around 15 minutes. And as much as I would like to talk about the process of creative directing, I would prefer to talk about what guns are good. Yeah, sorry. He no knows I'm upon a call. Yeah, so I would like to actually have like a conversation with everybody. I don't really want to dictate, but I can explain the nature of what I do. And I would like to know if everybody in the group knows the role of a creative director, so I'm not here, repeating myself. So that's the first thing. Hello, is anybody there?
Can you please repeat that? Something like I had some breakup or whatever with my internet.
Oh, I was saying I didn't want to repeat myself in terms of the role of a creative director. I kind of wanted to have like a conversation and, answer questions and so forth. So I was asking just for me to not repeat myself if everyone knows that the role and the basic roles of a creative director.
Okay, so some persons in the chat, they're saying yes.
Mm-hmm. Let me look.
Hello?
Yeah, Gianna
Yes.
says
Can you
yes.
hear me?
Yes. If everybody can just get the mic, that would be better.
Yeah, let's all be interactive and, as she said, have a conversation.
Yeah, that's kind of what I want. I don't want to dictate, but generally I can say a creative director is in charge of basically the whole visual execution of projects, any form of projects. This can be music videos, this can be branding content, this can be social media campaigns, this can be an artist EP, this can be somebody's jewelry line, any product, any branding, anything that involves advertising and marketing. That's basically what the creative director is responsible for. The creative director is also involved in overseeing the whole execution of the project. So the creative director will relate to the person who's maybe the graphic designer. Then they will relate to the person who's maybe a musician who's involved in the project, maybe a business exec, a CEO. All of these people who are very key and important to the process. The creative director will actually oversee the creative visual execution of that.
Does
I
the
had one on.
May I ask a
Repeat?
question?
Yeah, sure.
Does the creative director only oversee the visual aspect, or is it that at times they may oversee the musical aspect or any other form of artistic medium?
Yeah, man, everything artistic. So, as I was going to my notes, I have some here. The creative director fills in on deciding how to turn ideas into visuals. So, any form of information that can work to contribute to the visual execution of the project. That's what the creative director is involved in. They're also involved in like choosing and approving photographs, artworks, graphic designs, maybe music. Also, I've been involved in like the production of songs, where we might say, oh, this sound a little bit too much, or maybe if you speed up that a little bit, imagine in the video it will look nice. So all those little factors can actually help you bring out an idea. And it's so intricate, which is why I was saying I wanted to just like explain my experience. Because I find that creative directing, how I actually realized that I was doing creative directing is me having the passion for all of these separate parts that involve creative or the whole creative industry, which is graphics, photography, film, um, directing, cinematography, um, a little bit of script writing. I did say painting, all of these little things. And over the years of me just loving this and just starting with graphic design because of Photoshop back in '07 when we had to experiment on YouTube. That's when YouTube started like a lot of tutorials and stuff on Photoshop, which was pretty cool to see where it is now. Um, so from graphic design to going into photography, from using my brother as a guinea pig to no, people just liking my stuff when I put them on Facebook, and then people actually start paying me for it. And I said, all right, cool, we can turn this into a business, cool. And then I had to find a name now for, you know, everything, because I had Nickii P designs, then I had VR photography as a separate thing, then I had this as a separate thing. I even had like t-shirts at one point. I was making t-shirts. I don't even print one on now, but I designed them, so that's a next part of creative directing that you can do. You can also do the actual graphics if you choose. I like to do the physical work because as I said, it's something that I like and I find it pretty easy to do, and I just like to execute these ideas. So sometimes you can put yourself in physically to execute these things, to say, okay, if you need a photographer for, say, for instance, a bikini line, you are creative directing it and you need a photographer. Okay, so you can either, if you can do the photography, if you're capable of doing the photography, you don't have to be a photographer, you don't have to be a graphic designer, but you must be able to can play around in these programs or have some form of knowledge of them. And so, for instance, you need a photographer. You can source a photographer. So, for instance, you can look for, say, for instance, like Kelly, Kelly over there. Kelly's gonna do the photography. Okay, so who's gonna do the makeup? You source the makeup artist. You can source, you can find these people and allot them. Or if the client has these people on board, you work with these people as well. So, just to answer that question, yes, the creative director is involved in basically all aspects of the project, all simple aspects that can lead up to the whole creative execution of it. So, yeah, just to
Thank you so much.
leave the floor open to see if anybody have any questions they want to ask.
Nickii. Hi. I I agree
Hi.
totally with Nikki's point of the passion. Because if you don't have passion for it, it don't make sense to go into it.
Mm-mm.
There's a lot of different aspects of being a creative. Some people are made out to be creative directors
Mm-hmm.
because of the passion and the willingness to just get down in it and try different things and take on a leading role to manage a team. While some other
Yeah.
people are made out for that. Some people just want to chill in your dark cave and design. And that's cool. If you stay that way, that there's a place for you and you can make it to the top of the mountain, same way. But
Okay.
you make sure
True.
that you have the passion and the desire for working at the field.
Because trust me, if you don't, because there's going to be times where people are going to tell you ideas where you think might be out of the blue, but if you can still say you can make it work, you can make it work, or you can tweak it in such a way where you get what you want on your end visually as a creative, and they get what they want. I
Exactly.
would say that's the biggest challenge for us as creatives, you know. We kind of drop the ego. I'm gonna call it ego because we do have an ego as creatives, and it's trying to find that balance between being a creative and being loyal to the client as well, because we have to remember that the client is who you're working for. This is not your personal work at the moment. So
So true.
um
So true.
I'm glad you actually touched on that in terms of the qualities, because that's my next note. I was gonna highlight some skill sets or some skills that you need to um, garner or have to be a creative director. So creative directors are naturally artistic individuals. They should be versed in a lot of artistic areas, not only artistic areas but marketing as well. You know, branding, graphic design, um, creativity have to up. Like you can't be a creative director and your creativity have to up. When I say creativity have to up, meaning you don't have to be like an artist to have your creativity up, because creativity is coming from within. It doesn't matter if you're an artist or you're, you know, actual painter, because it's just that I'm a painter, it's a perk, but creativity actually stems from your soul, you know. Creativity comes from boredom. I don't know if you guys hear Einstein say that all the time, but or see these posts online, but Einstein always say creativity comes from boredom. You'll be sitting down here and you get a bad idea. A lot of these ideas that I have, it's not just me alone come up with them, you know. um I get inspiration from people. There are people who tell me stories and I say, yo, you know, so that would I make a bad film. It's not like me sit down and say, you know. So I know people who might just sit down and have sick ideas, but they just don't know how to execute it. So that's where the creative director comes in, because the creative director is the one that is going to bring that idea to life. Um, and with that said, it goes to my next point where the creative director must have leadership qualities. Creative directors manage and instruct a team of artists and creative staff, and they oversee basically the whole planning of the project. So you have to have that leadership skill to know, say, okay, you go stick to this deadline. And may I tell you, time management is one of our biggest issues and challenges, but we have to overcome it, because I just realized that the creative industry is building, and I like that we're doing these kind of things where we can share our experiences, not on the internet, but in an enclosed space like this, where we can actually share real life experiences, and not to just make it look like, you know, it's all fine and dandy. Because enough time you see me there, I say, cheese on peace, me have that project I have to do, blah, blah, blah. Me have that thing I have to edit if me have to done it. But you have to put in that leadership quality in order to push yourself to get it. Because if you don't push the team, then the team can do what they need to do. You know. Next thing is communication. Creative directors must communicate their vision for a project. They must be able to collaborate with people as well, to hear people ideas, and also, you know, add your ideas as well, and see how best you can merge everything together to create one big vision, you know. And then you break it down into segments how you want it, and then you set your timeline how to execute it, which is where we go to time management again. We need to have proper time management. I'm speaking this for myself, not gonna lie. I've been doing better at time management. I wasn't great, may I tell you, but you see that little thing that called procrastination, we have to try beat it or know how to use it in the best way possible, because procrastination is not really that bad. But you have to just know to manage your time properly. And yeah, I would say those are the basic skills. I can get into some more stuff like it would be good for you to have experience in like Photoshop, InDesign, Flash, Adobe Premiere, all of these things, so you can like instruct people what to do. So for instance, I'm doing creative direction for a music video right now, and it kind of seemed like I'm doing direction, but I'm not really doing direction. What I did was I came up with the idea. The artist came to me and said, okay, Nickii, this is the idea. I'm giving me a 2-paragraph thing in my email, and I said, okay, this is the idea. And I said, all right, I'm gonna have to come up with a treatment. And then within this treatment, I'm gonna break down the scenes. And for each scene, we're gonna break down the props that we need. And for each prop, we're gonna have to source them. So you're gonna need art department, you're gonna need a producer, the director is already there, which is gonna be also the DP. You're gonna have talent there because you're gonna need dancers, because he also requested that he needs dancers. So what I ended up doing from writing the treatment, I ended up getting the art department together. I actually stepped in and do a little bit of art direction as well. And there's a major difference with the creative director and the art director. The art director is the one who's gonna execute, like actually execute the intricacies of the sets and so forth, while the creative director will come up with the overall idea. Then after that now, you end up pooling things together, finding out if the talent have what they need, finding out if the makeup artist checker tell the artist in her fees and so forth, if the hairstylist is available, all of these things. Make sure so the art department good, make sure so all of these things come together. Yeah. So I'm gonna just pause for a minute to see if anybody have any more questions, and I think my time is kind of going also. But yeah, I'd love some questions now.
So can you hear me, Nickii?
Yeah, man.
Okay, so what would you say has been your biggest creative challenge to date in your career?
Excuse me. I would say time management. Yeah, time management, because for me, I do a lot of things. And over time, I just realized that not a lot of people is in this position that I'm in. So, okay, if I am capable of doing all of these things and I actually want to do all of these things, I now have to see what is priority. So, what I had to do to solve that problem, I remember, I think it was in 2016, I was just having major fluster moments, like everything they just feel anxiety was up. Yeah. As I say anxiety, I see somebody saying the chat. How do you all right, so this is it now. um what I'm gonna say, let me go back to the person's name. um Liv is going to answer your question. um what I had to do in 2016 is that I had to sit down and say, okay, Nickii, what is it that you really want to do? What is it that you really want to make money from, but at the same time enjoy doing, right? So I had to say, okay, sit down, write this down. Got a book, got the pen, and I wrote down, I think, 7 things that I wanted to make an income from, and also do that I enjoy and make like projects and so forth and get work from. So
Wait, please do not move too quickly through this section.
what happened? You want me to talk slower? What?
Yes, some of us are writing.
Oh, what me done say, me just did write down what me want. And what I wrote down was, I wrote down graphic design, photography, videography, creative direction, art direction, set design, interior design, and painting. That's what, over 8. I can do all of those things and actually make money from it and do it within a time. However, have to manage my time, and it's still not an issue, but it's something to be mindful of. and keep on. It's like you whip yourself and I say, yo, you need to stay on top of this. Because even since like the ending of last year, I had to be reminding myself, downloading apps to say, okay, there's an app. Let me look for it. It's called New Task. That's what I use now to like remind me of what I need to do like tomorrow, the next day, so forth. Those little things help with anxiety because you know what you're gonna do the next day, and it's like you keep yourself um appointed to these tasks, you know.
What's the name of the app?
New Task.
New task. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. It's very simple. There's a tab for today, tomorrow, soon, and you can change the time. I mean, you have to pay full if you want, like go into the intricacies, but it's pretty simple. Um, and I just find it very effective. How I deal with anxiety? Let me read back the question carefully. How do you manage stress or anxiety on major projects? One, definitely going to say I have to sit and clear my mind because this is anxiety. One thought come in, you feel away, play point emotions, and next thought come in to add to that next thought, play point emotions again. Then the next thought they come in, and it's like it a build point, build and build and build. And then anxiety, all of that anxiety, imagine the thoughts are build and build and build, just entertain each thought. Imagine a group of squad, just like popcorn and the bag of man them, yeah. Entertain till it feel like it's a lot. That's when it reach depression. You don't want it to reach there. So what I do when I realize that I'm overthinking, because that's what anxiety is overthinking. And worrying, having fear is a fear-based emotion. So when we realize that, okay, and I'm a Virgo, Virgos love to worry. We worry a lot. Yeah. So Mr. Art, no, I can't do this. Sit down, I just find ways to cope with anxiety. Either I go outside and relax a little bit, go read, listen to some music. I go away from the work because I have to remember, say, okay, although I love this, I'm doing work as well. I have to take a break. And that is why it's a bit difficult for artists to kind of balance, because we're caught in between, oh, we love this and we're passionate and we're so emotional, and then you forget so you're a person. You're a human being, you're a soul in a physical body when you need to take care of the physical body, you know? So little things like that, I just make sure someone just clear my mind. That's the easiest way I can say it. And pray about these things. Sometimes you feel so flustered, you just pray and say, God, just give me some release, Just ask for some release. Never leave God out of your things. Always make sure I'm a prayer, my heavy prayer. And I believe word sound is power, and I believe what you actually think is gonna actually manifest. So if you really don't want something to manifest, you just make sure say, yo, you just don't think on it too often. Think about it one little bit and make sure say you resolve your little emotions within yourself. I'm an emotional person, so I can tell you it's not easy to manage your emotions, but you can actively make a mental note to say, okay, you're not stuck in a mental anguish. That's what anxiety is, mental anguish. Don't get stuck in a mental anguish. Just make sure, say, you're always at least half at peace. At least half at peace. Because naturally, we're not emotional. And do not take things personal. That's the next thing I'm gonna learn. Just please not take things personal. Because trust me, like, for example, I'm Leela Ike's creative director, and there are times where Leela might not like something, and she said, but Nickii, why you put that there? Something at this minute, say me want. I said, okay, Mums, what you want? Tell me what you want. Me have to calm her down, but if me never know, say, so she stay on me. If I was taking it personal, then it would have been a whole different thing. Anxiety would have flared, but I said, Lord, why should I shout after me? Me can't, you know? It's just balance. You just have to make a mental note to say, okay, do not take this personal. Yes, my work is still good. I'm still a good individual. This person is not gonna make my work flop. I'm fine. Let me just deal with this right now. You have to take anxiety one step at a time. The world not go crumble. Hard lesson to learn for us in life. Yeah, let me read what's happening in the chat here.
I definitely needed that talk on anxiety, and I just love the realness of this conversation. Like, honestly, you're dropping some really good gems for me.
Yeah. How many
And I'm
people
sure
in
everyone
here?
else. Kevin had a question. I'm gonna allow Kevin to just ask his question, and let me check the chat here. Okay, so Kevin is gonna ask his question. I have some questions for you, and then we'd have to hand over to Mr. Fearon to talk about networking.
All right, so good afternoon, everybody. Well, the question that I had, you guys basically asked, or I got my answer. I just wanted to know, because as a creative director, you basically do most of the work, if not all, to be honest. But
Yeah.
I just wanted to know how you manage all of that. How do you handle all the work being on you? And I got my answer, how you dealt with your anxiety and stuff. So I got it, and just to add to what they said, I'm loving the realness of the conversation.
Give thanks, give thanks. Let me tell you, as I say, it's just to be mindful of your time and just to be realistic as well. You might want to take on every project, but you can't take on every project. That's just the realistic thing about it. So for example, I was doing photography. Well, this is not a creative director project, but I was doing photography. I can probably say it now, since it's a discreet group, and guys, just don't say it to anybody. But it's just a little sneak peek information. I was doing a shoot with Clarks, and I was a photographer for the shoot for 5 days, and it's a huge project that. They already did the creative direction, so I never have to do none of that. I was just a photographer. They already had a creative director from UK. And I had a next shoot that I was supposed to do art direction for, that my friend had told me about a long time ago. However, there was something with the dates and communication. Like, she didn't communicate to me when I needed to be on the project. And I need at least to know a week or two before this project, because I need prep days, I need days to come up with a mood board and all these things. Oh, that's the next thing that I actually wanted to share my screen. So um if I can get the permission to share my screen, that would be great. Because I'd want to show you guys like some mood boards, because I think that's one thing that people need to do right now to save your time. Sit down and do some mood boards for these photo shoots. So say for instance, if you see a Beyonce picture and you want to replicate the picture, you're not gonna really replicate the Beyonce picture. You're gonna say, why you want to do that with that picture here? Okay, I'm in Jamaica. Why I want to replicate this picture of Beyonce in an Egyptian outfit? Maybe I can put her in a Jamaican wrap and put a basket on her head, but use the same coloring. You see that now? You go online, find the Beyonce picture, find the Jamaican wrap where you want to add to this the picture, find the lighting reference, find color palettes, find items that you want to put in the set, and put all of that in a mood board. And when you put all of that in a mood board now, that save you time from explaining to the makeup artist where you want, that save you time from explaining to the hairstylist where you want, them see everything right there in that one PDF. And I think that's going to cut out a lot of people time. I find that it cut out my time, and it's getting so much easier now. I can just boop, 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 do a little mood board quick. Before I had to sit down and anxiety reach me, and I say, Lord Jesus, what me I gonna do? I have so many ideas, and it's like I can't really put everything down on paper. What the hell am I gonna do? But over time, practicing, having to be in flight and fright mode, or fight and flight mode, with these jobs, because some of these jobs come in like really last minute, and you have to just quickly just do something. But it's really a challenge. So mood boards, it's definitely gonna save you time. And after you do the mood board now, everything just a little bit easier for you. So back to the shoot thing. I didn't end up getting to work on the shoot because I had the clock shoot, and then it's like right after the clock shoot, it would be that video shoot the next day. So I wouldn't have time for prep. I wouldn't have time to make any mood board. I wouldn't have time to meet, because you have to have meetings with clients as well, over the phone and in person, not on WhatsApp. I don't do WhatsApp meetings. I said I have boundaries for meetings, because I feel like you need to set these boundaries, because WhatsApp kind of too slow. It's not really professional as well. I mean, if a person have to call you over WhatsApp call because they're away, that's fine. But if me in a Jamaica, me not call you over WhatsApp call unless we cannot meet in person, or we cannot have a proper phone call, like straight call, 876 blah, blah, blah. Yeah, not no WhatsApp call. It's the worst. It's not effective. So having meetings with clients, all of these things, cut down your time from sitting down at your yard saying, okay, you have this to do, you have that to do, you have that to do, So, yeah, those are some of the things that I do to cut down extra time doing unnecessary things, and to just manage my time, you know. And to know your time as well, know how long it's going to take you to execute something. Don't say to somebody, say, okay, you can send them something on Friday, and then when Friday come, then I hear from you. That's something I've been telling myself to do. Like, if I tell somebody a date, if I can't deliver at the date, you message them and say, hey, this is what happened, blah, blah, blah. And don't tell them no lie. Tell them the truth. This is what happened. Me they get stalled up because my car broke down, and, me never get to reach home and do it in time. Me drop a seat, like, be honest. People prefer honesty than anything, may I tell you. So yeah. Let me know if I can just share one PDF before I go to your other questions.
Yes, you can. Nickii is here to just let you be host, and so you can share your screen or your mood board and whatever it is that you want.
All right, let me go into my iCloud Drive. I can show you guys this simple one. Hold on. Okay. Okay, so this is a very simple one. Everybody seen this one?
Yeah, we've seen it.
Yeah, I'm seeing it.
So, I don't know if you guys remember that photo that I took with Joby when she was in her green velvet top. It's not a top, it's just fabric over her, and the background is gold, and she have on gold accessories, and her hair is in a high bun. So this is a mood board that I had for it. You want to kind of give people like an overall mood of what you're going for. So I just make it plain and simple, just overall mood, angles, lighting, props, makeup, styling, perspective, colorful. Now, as I said, this is just a very simple mood board because I did this like 2 days before the shoot, because it was like a passion project that we were doing. She ended up doing her hair like this young lady right here. It was already like this, so I used her as a reference for like poses and so forth. We used this wrap as the green reference for the overall throw over. This for the makeup look. This for just the overall vibe and pose, and this for I would say the mood also, and a little bit of lighting, and the rest is just like, poses and so forth. And that's just that one. I can share a next one if possible. Still see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna just quickly prep through this one. Okay, guys, as I said, this is a sneak peek. Please do not tell anybody that you guys saw this treatment. Okay, I'm sure you're seeing what is here right now. I just feel like this one is just a better one to show you guys like a proper breakdown. So I recently shot, you almost see it on Instagram all over where Skilly was down by Tivoli with Lila shooting a video. Did you let me just ask, did you guys actually saw any clips online? Hello? No? Okay, cool.
Peter John, you're not seeing her screen. You might
You're
have
not
to.
seeing it?
I'm seeing it, but Peter John, you might have to come back, like leave the room and then come back,
Hold on,
Or
let
you
me
can just
stop sharing and share
or you can
again.
stop share and share. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Share screen. Right, let me just share everything because it's a little bit easier. Okay, are you guys seeing now?
Yeah.
All right.
Peter John, are you seeing?
Is everybody seeing?
I'm seeing, but okay, great. The
Yeah, I'm
person who
seeing
had
it.
the issue is seeing it now. All right, good.
Okay, good. All right, so I'm just gonna do a basic run through. This is a treatment for Lila's video that I will. As I said before, people, please, this is our NDA. Do not tell anybody.
Questions?
I have too much questions to know what to ask.
All right, go ahead.
In relation, that was well, I'll ask a side note question. May I know what platform you use to create the document that you just showed us, or the file, or I don't even know what that was. What you
Oh,
used to make that?
Canva. Canva.
That was just Canva, really? I can
Yeah.
do it in Canva. I'm going to try to do it in Canva.
No, all I did was I didn't use a template, you know, that
Also,
wasn't a template. What I did was I just used blank sheets, and I don't know if it's because I'm a graphic design brain, but I just see how everything can lay out and I just lay it out. So
did you
there
design
are
every
templates there you
or
can use. You just type in treatment template or mood board template, and you can get it done.
Mhm.
There are other apps I use, but they're more intricate. But Canva is the best one, and that's what I use to make that one.
Thank you, thank you. Canva, okay.
No
I
problem.
already have
You
Canva,
can
but
do it in
I
InDesign
guess
as
it just
well. Yeah,
seems limited.
I just find
I'll
Canva
check
to
out
be a
InDesign.
little bit quicker. You know, InDesign, me personally, that slow up my computer, so I just hate using it. I don't use it any at all. I try not to. But yeah, any more questions?
Before asking another question, I'd like to know if anyone else has questions. I don't want to take up all the time.
I have a question. What's the most rewarding thing for you as a creative director?
Boy, that kind of hard because it's like, no, it's not hard. Me doing what I love and making money from it. I think that's everybody's dream, you know. And I never thought that I would have been doing this. But just tell my mother, say, Mommy, I'm not doing a 9 to 5. So nobody look for me do a 9 to 5 full time. That's the first thing I tell my mother. Only 9 to 5 me I do it myself, me I work for. So if I not me I do, it now go work. Me I go up in the bush go live. That's exactly what I told her. And it's amazing to see that I'm actually doing it now, because from a little girl coming from Mobe in a little ghetto community in Granville where everybody thinks of me uptown, I don't even know why. But I'm a ghetto girl, grew up in a little board house, 4 room, little veranda there, so ramp up in a yard. Trees were my friends, you know, that vibe there. And then moving to Kingston now, it was a big change for me. I had to like literally put myself out there. Apart from me having raw talent, I had to work. I had to do a lot of free jobs. Not saying that you guys should do free jobs, but I had to put in hours and still doing free jobs. I still do free jobs today. But, it's not really the best thing to do because people need to pay for your time and your brain because your brain expensive. That's just pretty much it. So when me realize that now, so my brain expensive and I'm not just here just doing my talent, it's a blessing and a curse in itself, But I'm gonna look at it as a blessing. The reason why I say it's a curse because it's challenging when you really want to do projects and you have to draw the thin line and say, okay, I'm not do this until you give me my deposit. You have to you have to stand with people. So I would say being a creative director, it's just fun to work on some interesting projects and to work on things that I'm actually interested in, like working with hotels, working with food, working with music, working with interior design people, just working with all spectrum of people, learning all different things. And it works for my personality as well because I love culture. I love to learn about things, Learning is what I thrive on. So if me not learn through what me I do, it not really make no sense for me. This is just my philosophy. It don't have to be everybody's philosophy because some people have to go, like take adventures. I love adventures as well. So I really like the fact that my job can take me places and meet like all kind of people from all over the world. Like you wouldn't believe the amount of people I meet through just like maybe like one picture. Them say, yo, you see that picture? Oh, you do that creative direction. So, oh, that is so cool. Yo, I'm from this and this and I want to do this. You can just connect with people from all over, from all shapes of life. I met like, for example, I was doing creative direction for Life Yard. And through that, I ended up doing a whole charity project for, it's not a charity, it's more like an NGO for women. But I started with younger girls where we did a mentorship program. And from that, I ended up meeting my virgin, who's our next videographer. His mom, she's like some big person in Africa right now. I don't remember what's her status, but she also is the one of the founders of Bob Marley Foundation. And I said, okay, cool, that lady, I really have something about her. And not me, and the woman love me off. She want to adopt me, like fully adopt me. Like she said, oh gosh, I love you so much. And then I said, cool, all right. End up finding out, so she have this orphanage there with like over 1,000 kids where she add up and just feed them. And I said, wow, this woman is like a real African queen. Only to find out, say, the woman is married to Haile Selassie's great grandson. And me, I literally like paused when I found out. I was like, come here, look on the man, and the man is like a regular artist, just there painting things and showing things them to people. And he's just so chill there, sitting back, smoking his play. I'm like, cool, okay. Then what made me realize that my job was so sick is when this man take out the actual chart. And this is confidential information I'm telling you people. When the man take out the actual birth chart of the family, so you have
to take some more questions, really and truly. I really would love to take some more questions, but we're strapped for time, unfortunately. But
I have to get back to shooting.
Before you go, I just want to thank you formally for taking the time. I know that you're a busy lady,
yes,
evidently,
and I did commit to this from a longer time, so I couldn't back out. So you see that time management, people.
Thank you for sharing the things that you did, the skills that we need, having the passion, being a good team player, time management, how to handle anxiety and all those things. Really and truly, you dropped some gems today, and I'm sure everybody here is just blessed by it.
Give thanks, and I'm glad I could come and share with you all. I would love to do this. If everybody have iPhone, or if you don't have an iPhone, go on Clubhouse and follow me. I'll do this more often on Clubhouse because I want to have these discussions more with people, So if you have an iPhone, just download Clubhouse. You'll find me, Nickii Kane. and we do the do.
So you heard it. Download Clubhouse. I'm on Clubhouse, so I definitely will be joining those sessions.
All right. Thank you,
All right.
Savannah.
All right. Thanks again. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining. It was
Bye.
fun.
Thanks for
Bye,
sharing.
Nickii.
Bye.
Bye. All right, guys. So no, I'm pretty sure you got a lot from that discussion about creative directing. I see Miss Gardner here saying, "Oh, that this was nice. I'm glad you enjoyed it." But keeping the same energy, we're going to hear from Mr. Fearon now about networking. So please join me in welcoming Mr. Fearon to talk about networking.
Woo!
Hi guys. All right, so body awake, because that was I enjoyed the last conversation, and I mean that was a lot of great tips and advice and real life stories. So let me try to continue that mood, because I have some notes in my little book. So let's start with networking. First of all, I don't like networking. It totally is different from a regular creative person does. I like sit down, rub my desk, turn off the lights, have my screens on, and just create with images, video, audio, and use that to express myself. But what networking does, it takes you out of your shell. You have to go out there, be friendly, communicate with people where you just meet, find interest with that person, and take it from there. So everybody hear me?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
hearing you guys. Tell me in
Right.
the chat if you're hearing or on mute.
Yes. So I also will continue. So when you guys have a question, you can just pause me, and we go through it. So there are different types of networking. You have business events where you might network. You might be involved in a group at university or from school in Kiwanis club or something like that. And all of these are aspects of networking. You meet up with people and you have a certain common goal what each of you might be talking about and finding interest, and then you start network. So even for me, I was mostly an athlete in high school, and then I was art in the art room a lot also. And even from those days to now, a lot of the being around different kind of people and different groups, such as from the art group to the basketball team to the track team, building these networks from these days and keeping connected with them and seeing what their business progressions are and what problems I know how to solve. That is a big key part of networking. And that is what will drive you to get a job in the creative field. If you're a freelancer, this might be the biggest thing that takes you to get clientele in the future. So hold on, let me look on something. Let me try to bring up my screen. Share screen. All right. Everybody seeing the PowerPoint? Hello?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, we're seeing.
We're seeing it. Yeah, excuse me. I'm getting used to all of this. So, all right. First of all, I had a lot of things about processing in a little PowerPoint, but if we have time, I can go through some of these points. But let me go down to the networking part. All right, networking. You see how much slides? All right, enough slides. So networking. All right. So in networking, one thing is you have to enjoy what you do while you're doing it. So you're not going to go to an event where you don't want to be at the event to network. So if you're in a club, just join a club because you know that a lot of people in that club, but you have no interest in that, you will show up. You won't, you won't make it to the other meetings. You won't participate. You won't be useful. It won't be useful to you and to nobody else. You have to think about your brand in that sense. Because if you come on us there and you're on your phone and you're talking to everybody else on your phone rather than the people that in front of you, it's it don't look good for your brand because the next thing is maybe 5 years from now, you go into a meeting with some people from that same event, and they might say, "Boy, the person here, he was there, and him not really contribute enough. He never really see interested yet. So I just wonder if I just saw him stay. Him not interested in it or nothing. Why should I work with him?" So in saying that, if you're going to an event to network, make sure it's an event that are a cause that you are really interested in. So whether it is from politics to environmental causes to trade shows, all of these things are networking events, and you need to enjoy doing it so you can make it useful to you. Rep- Networking has a repetitive nature. I mean, Jamaica is a small island, so you might go there and you might be meeting the same people. So if you go there and you have the same questions, oh, what's your business? What's your business about? And then you go to some next networking event and you're asking the same exact questions again, it makes networking not beneficial for you. So what I suggest is you try and remember people name and their industries. And if you get a contact or a business card, you reach out to them maybe it's by sending an email or joining their network on LinkedIn so you can keep the communication going. So maybe the next time you see someone at the next networking event, you can move from a stage of what's your company to, hey, I see that your company is doing such and such. I can solve that problem for you now, or I can help out with that, Let me take a look at it. Stuff like that. So that's how you grow through networking. Networking is not a creative endeavor. It relies a lot on your business acumen, your social acumen, not in that creative. That's why I not really like it. But I do it. So so in networking, you're not going to just talk about design and say, look, I did that music video or I made dresses. You have to be able to talk about other things outside of just the realm. You go to that event, if it's about environment, you must can sit down and reason with somebody about an environment issue. And then eventually you learn about the person, their business, their knowledge, and what problems you can solve. So if you're talking to somebody about environmental problems, and it might be not that Jamaica, you're at a networking meeting that involves that, and you know about, that garbage collection body in this area, or there are too many wild animals, stray dogs in this area, and but you can do an infomercial to maybe help out with the cause. And through that, doing that network, you might do the infomercial for free. But when they see you do that and everybody in that network knows that, look, you know that Andre or Savannah or Danny or Gianna did this infomercial for me, that network translates into referrals, which translates into jobs for you. The next thing, naturally, it involves other people. So again, you have to look at, as I said before, you look on how your mannerism, how your brand translate to the other people. So if you're at a networking event and you don't have no feeling to talk to nobody, maybe you should skip that or find some other form of network event. Um, Anybody have any questions about any? As yet? No questions?
Hold on. My question is, right, so now, with COVID-19, most of us were online most of the time, and networking traditionally has been something really face to face and physical. How do you recommend like us now to effectively network online?
Um, First of all, I see a lot of people doing it in the chat. I mean, making comments and being active in the chat is is a good way of networking in a sense also, because you're putting out yourself out there and you're communicating with other people. Um, Again, it's joining other platforms. It Twitter is good for networking. You can join different groups. LinkedIn also, you can join different groups. You can make comments on people message boards, and then from the comment you lead to bigger conversations, and then from that people do connect into different networks. Um, that is a good form of networking currently. And yeah, I mean, the biggest thing right now, as we are doing today, is coming together as a creative people who have the same things in common, who enjoy talking about creative work. This is great. This is great networking. Um, yeah. So I think in today's society, this is what we're doing right now is the best form, communicating in a group, using the chat, answering questions, and then afterwards, I hope to see people connecting to my page, which is Renar Creative Studio on all platforms. So I would like to see people connecting and sharing more feedback, asking me more questions. So you look me up on LinkedIn, Narada Fearon. So I would like to see people actually networking, and I will 10 participants here, so I should say 10 new LinkedIn requests with people asking nine, well, because I count to myself, 9 LinkedIn requests with more questions, and hopefully 2 or more people that I'll find very interesting and want to work with. Um, Anything else?
There was a question here. Where are networking events held?
Networking events are in Jamaica landscape. You have a lot of small business networks. So, for example, I had a client before COVID. This was in even not even Kingston. This is in Old Harbor. He has a restaurant, and he will have monthly networking small business events where we call in different leaders, and you get some great people. The owner from Juicy Beef, I think, attended once. Also politicians, institutions like the banks will come in and they're speaking. Those places are great places where people network. Um, Other places that usually happen before pre-COVID was like at the ATL showroom in New Kingston. They had some great mingles, networking events. Um, Summits, seminars are great networking events. Um, Even sports, a networking event doesn't have to be somewhere that you sit down or you come in with your jacket and tie. It could be at your hall sports day, because what you need to network is a group of people but have shared interests. And from that, you can always network. When I was a young man, I was dating a young lady, and I was even creative at that time, just really starting out, just came back from college abroad, and we went to a great exclusive event with a lot of executives. And I had a busy work week and she was networking. She was out there, she was playing dominoes with all the execs networking while I was there having a good time. And I can't believe I did it back then because I didn't understand what the importance of networking back then. I was so annoyed. I don't think I went out on a date again with that lady. And I was totally wrong because she was doing something that was way more useful than what I was doing. I was just there having a good time because, yeah, but she saw deeper value in it. She was having a good time, but she was making network, she was networking, she was building connections. And, I could have, and I wish I was able to sit beside her and get to know these men just like how she did. So so you can network at a party, basically. So anywhere you can network at church. All of these, any place you can network from. You have a group of people that you can connect with as somewhere that you enjoy. It's not about creative endeavors. Okay. Um. Any more questions? Guys, just remember you can just chime in anytime. So again, hobbies is a good place to network. So if you're into environment, you'll be surprised the kind of people that you will meet when you're cleaning up the place. If you take a drive down to Treasure Beach, and you're cleaning up, that's a great spot to find to network. If you're in church and you're in a youth group, you keep your brand proper also because these people that you're just in a youth group at church, in the next 5 years time, some of them might be marketing execs, some might be musicians. So you should start from early to introduce your brand to them. Look, I'm a creative. I make dresses. I want to make wedding dresses in the future, and you'll be surprised how many people in the future will come to you. Is networking is not a short game. It has long term advantages. Um, you network with your professors, your tutors, your classmates. I mean, how you communicate with them, how you share your professional experience, and how you deal with them is something that builds the future. Um, so, as I said, networking is a long game. So, eventually, opportunities will come. Where you can solve a problem, because that's what a creative does. A creative solves a problem. Am I right? Creative solves problems. We're
Definitely.
converses. Right. Creative solves problems. So the last speaker, Nickii, was talking about doing free work. It happens. I did. Sometimes I might spend out the whole most of my week doing free work. Mind you, it's a strategy, that you're not doing free work to everybody, and it needs to have a benefit for you. So it might be that just like any businessman, you might buy 2 items, get one free. You might have that kind of nature where you're saying, look, I need to show people that I can do this thing. Let me do this one job free. And I know that I will be getting other goods and services from somebody else. And then eventually that person will refer you to other people where you can even increase your cost for producing that item because you are more experienced in that kind of field right now. So like designing somebody's business card is a great networking tool. If you go to a traditional networking place, you might see buckets filled with business cards, and you might take it up and you say, this person really need a new logo. This person really needs a new business card. And you see their tag, you go up to that person, introduce themselves. introduce yourself. Say, hey, you know, so I'm a graphic artist. I got your card from the bucket, you know. How long you have this business card? You know, so using the same one from 5 years ago. I made it in PowerPoint, and you say, what? You made it in PowerPoint 5 years ago? You know, so I can tweak this for you. Let me tweak it for you. Let me just upgrade it for you. Don't worry at all. I'll even print 100 business cards for you. You know, that's networking too. So you find out that another person, oh, really great, you want to print 100 business card, redo my logo. Why you don't come in and I give you some free lights? Why don't come in and I give you free rentals for couches or a 15% discount on laptops? You know, these kind of interactions are forms of network, and you have to use. I want to use a new term that I don't know if anybody has heard it. Buying customers. Um, one of the main places where people buy customers right now is through social media advertising, your pay per clicks on Google ads and all of that kind of stuff. That is buying customers. So you're estimating that I'm going to put $1,000 in, but I'm going to get $2,000 back because I've invested. So in network, that kind of thing also works. And as a creative director, you're not just a creative artist. You have to be business minded. You have to can talk business lingo and make deals. You can't just take the first deal that comes to you or be the silent person in a conversation. So this again goes back to going to events that you're interested in, whether it's sports, whether it's a soccer party, you can network everywhere. Any more questions?
Do you guys have any more questions about networking?
All right. Is somebody have a question?
Well, okay, no, not right now. Well, you had mentioned your socials earlier. Could you just type that again or say it again for those persons because they might have questions at a later date?
Socials.
I think it was your LinkedIn and something else.
Okay, yes, social networks. LinkedIn, Twitter, Fiverr, Beyonce. Beyonce is a great place to network with other creatives. You might go on it and see some people doing some really creative stuff and you say, crap, these things look too wicked, man, I can't do it. But you're a creative director. What you're doing is you're finding talent that you can bring in. That's building your network. You're building your network of creative people. So if you're producing a music video, you need a great video editor. You need a great set designer. So when you go on networks such as Beyonce and you build up your following of these people, you're not just going to follow them. You're going to send them a message and say, look, that's beautiful. You know, so I might have a project